Steve, there was another big thing out of that game. The more coronation of Travis Hunter as the best player in college football. Guy plays both sides of the ball, has a big interception. I know he caught at least one touchdown pass, looked good on both sides of the football. Everybody, he did the Heisman pose. Who did that? Desmond Howard, I think, years ago. And so there's the more coronation. Now, and I left that game like, whoo, Travis Hunter is going to be hard to keep out of the Heisman race. But then when you watch Georgia and Alabama, and when you watch the two best teams or two of the better teams in clearly the best conference in football, I just can we legitimately say Travis Hunter is the best player in college football when he's not doing it on the ultimate stage in the SEC or even the Big Ten? Can he be the best player in football?
Jason, let's put it to you this way. A team that has to play anyone that many plays and having to basically be platoon football, offense and defense, is not very deep. And when you look at Georgia and Alabama, they generally have a lot more depth. And I don't even think Kirby Smart and now Kalen DeBoer would ask any of their players to ever really do this. I mean, people will bring up Charles Woodson in 1997 with the co-national titles. But, Jason, Charles Woodson had offensive packages and certain specific plays. He was not a full-time wide receiver. People don't realize that. And he also did a lot of special teams. And Travis Hunter is a special talent. But the question is, would he be able to have the same amount of success doing what he does in the SEC? In other words, going up against better defensive backs and then having to run with young men like Ryan Williams? I would say no. But with that said, in my view, when you talk about who's the best player in college football, he's probably on a very short list. So we're 1/3 of the way through the season. I give Travis Hunter a lot of credit because when you're averaging over 120 plays in modern day football, that is to be respected. But right now, this is way too early. But when I look at the Heisman Trophy, I look at him, Jalen Milroe, Ashton Jeanty of Boise State, and Cam Ward. I think those four have clearly separated themselves from the pack.
Boise State running backs on pace for 2,000 yards. He's averaging 10 yards a carry. He's another guy. Now, I do think, have they played Oregon and Washington State?
They played Oregon. Jason, he gashed Oregon. He made some runs against Oregon. You're like, this guy could do this against anybody. Here's where I think Jeanty's candidacy is going to hit a roadblock. You're right. He does not play in a P4 conference. He's not from Notre Dame, so it's going to be much more difficult for him. A lot of his games, Jason, I was in Miami. I didn't realize how tough it is to stay up for these late window games. It's one thing to stay up around 11 or 12. That UCLA-Oregon game did not end until about 1:30, 2 o'clock. I could see why a lot of people don't even understand half the country is missing out on most of the games or some of the games. The way Jeanty can get himself squarely in the mix, where he's not just wearing a suit in New York on the first week of December, there's a particular record out there that I think is magical. Barry Sanders, 1988, when he basically rushed for 2,600 yards in the regular season. In an 11-game season, I believe he did that. I think it's still the greatest one-man, one-season performance I have ever seen, specifically or certainly from a running back. If Jeanty can challenge that record, I think people are going to really start to consider him for the Heisman. But other than that, I think it's going to be very tough because there will be certain geographical biases that go against him.
I think if Colorado gets to 9 wins, I think it's going to be impossible for anyone to unseat Travis Hunter. If they get to 9 wins, maybe even all it'll take is 8 wins. And it's look, he's got to continue to play at this level, but right now, I would not hand him the Heisman today just because having watched Colorado State, North Dakota State, and now UCF, I'm just sorry. I'm just not overwhelmed. It's been great what he's done. If he keeps it up, I'm going to hand him the Heisman. But so far, the competition's a tiny bit suspect.
Yeah, I mean, Jason, look, here's the reality. As someone that handed Denard Robinson Heisman twice in September during his years at Michigan. And then not too long afterwards, Geno Smith is going to be the runaway choice for the Heisman, I think, in 2013. This is what I do now. You compile a list. You let people into the club. You pull the velvet rope. But none of these discussions really matters. And this even goes for top 25 lists and rankings and all that stuff. None of these lists really hold any weight till the first week of November. That's when the season really means something.
Steve, I know you watch a lot of college football, and when I think of some of the greatest plays, or maybe the greatest play, this Ryan Williams catch, combined with Chris Fowler's call, combined with the importance of that catch and run after catch, is that in contention for one of the greatest plays in college football history? And I don't even know what the competition would be. That was amazing, with a magical call by Chris Fowler. Chris Fowler, I was not happy when he replaced Brent Musburger, but man, he rose to the occasion there and has clearly gotten better as a play-by-play man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where you'd put this in the pantheon of all-time great plays. I mean, let's face it, Jason, it's still a game in September. Now, if this was for the national title in the Sugar Bowl or whatever bowl game rotation we're going on, I would say yes, it's probably in the top 15 to 20 right off the bat. But this is the reality of what took place Saturday. It was amazing. It was spectacular. It was incredible television. But, Jason, do you know there's a chance that just might be one of 3 games they play this year, Alabama and Georgia? And I think, and look, and I'm not completely against the 12-team playoff, but I do realize this. Games of that magnitude, as important as they still are, scarcity creates value. There used to be a time if you beat your arch rival, you could say, oh, man, for a year, I get to live off this, and those other people are going to be tortured. Right now, Kirby Smart's telling his teams in Athens, hey, guys, come December 7th, we're going to meet them again. Now, Texas may have something to say about that, but that was the beauty of the old system, as flawed as it was, that there was a value and an impact on games. So, yeah, is it a great play? Yes. Will Ryan Williams get more NIL money for it? Yes. Should he get a lawyer and put that deal in writing for that images for that play? Yes. But keep this in mind. It's a play in September, Jason. That matters.
Don't miss a second of Fearless. Hit that like button and subscribe to keep up with our latest content.